It was a quiet, rainy evening in late October, and I was home alone. My parents had gone out of town for the weekend, leaving me to watch the house. I didn't mind. I was 16, and the idea of having the place to myself felt like freedom. The storm outside was intense, with thunder shaking the windows and rain pounding against the roof. I love storms like this. They made the house feel cozy, like a safe little bubble in the middle of chaos. I was in the living room, curled up on the couch with a blanket, watching a movie. The TV was loud enough to drown out the storm, but not so loud that I wouldn't hear if something happened. Or so I thought. Around 10 p.m., the power went out. The TV flickered off, and the house was plunged into darkness. I sighed, grabbing my phone to use as a flashlight. The storm must have knocked out a transformer or something. No big deal. I lit a few candles and decided to head upstairs to my room. The flickering light from the candles cast long shadows on the walls, making the house feel eerie in a way it never had before. I shook off the feeling, telling myself it was just the storm. But as I reached the top of the stairs, I heard something. A faint knocking sound. It wasn't coming from the front door. It was coming from inside the house. My heart skipped a beat. I stood frozen at the top of the stairs, listening. The knocking came again, slow and deliberate, like someone was tapping on wood. It was coming from the attic. We never used the attic. It was just a dusty, cramped space filled with old boxes and forgotten things. The door was always closed, and I couldn't remember the last time anyone had gone up there. I told myself it was just the wind or the house settling. Old houses make noises, right? But the knocking didn't stop. It grew louder, more insistent. My hands started to shake, and I gripped my phone tighter, the flashlight beam trembling as I aimed it toward the attic door. The knocking turned into a pounding, and then I heard something else. A voice. It was faint, muffled, like it was coming from far away. But it was definitely a voice. "Let me out," it said. I nearly dropped my phone. My breath came in short, panicked gasps as I backed away from the attic door. The voice came again, louder this time. "Please, let me out." It sounded desperate, pleading. My mind raced. Was someone trapped up there? How could they have gotten in? The attic door was always locked from the outside, and I had the only key. I forced myself to move, stumbling down the stairs to the kitchen where we kept the spare keys. My hands fumbled as I grabbed the key ring and ran back upstairs. The pounding had stopped, but the voice was still there, softer now, almost a whisper. I unlocked the attic door with trembling hands and pulled it open. The smell hit me first, damp, musty, and something else, something metallic. I shone the flashlight inside, but the beam didn't reach far. The attic was pitch black, and the air felt heavy, like it was pressing down on me. "Hello," I called out, my voice shaking. There was no answer. I took a step inside, the wooden floor creaking under my weight. The flashlight beam caught something in the corner, a shape hunched and motionless. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The shape moved, slowly rising to its feet. It was a person, but something was wrong. Their movements were jerky, unnatural, like a puppet being pulled by invisible strings. I backed away, but the figure lunged forward, grabbing my arm. Their grip was ice cold, and their face— I couldn't see their face. It was like looking into a void, a swirling mass of shadows. I screamed, yanking my arm free and stumbling backward. I fell through the attic door, slamming it shut behind me. I scrambled to lock it, my hands shaking so badly I could barely fit the key into the lock. The pounding started again, louder than before, and the voice was screaming now, a guttural, inhuman sound that made my blood run cold. I ran downstairs, grabbed my phone, and called the police. They arrived within minutes, but by the time they got there, the attic was silent. They searched the house, including the attic, but found nothing. No one was there. No signs of forced entry. No evidence that anyone had been in the house besides me. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the attic door. The storm raged on outside, but the house was eerily quiet. The next morning, my parents came home, and I told them what had happened. They didn't believe me, of course. They said it was just my imagination, fueled by the storm and being alone in the house. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. We moved out of that house a few months later. I never went back into the attic, and I never will. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear that voice in my dreams. Let me out, it whispers. And I wonder if I ever really locked the door.